How do you feel about your depth at defensive line?
Obviously you feel solid about them. Those guys are back, adding a couple like, Blake, even early on that has helped us get some guys some reps. Zach Peterson's doing a good job, Tucker Robinson. So all those guys, and, you feel solid about it, but you never feel great. You just, you're always hoping that you, find some more guys along the way.
How was having a cornerbacks coach and a safeties coach change your job, if at all?
It's really different. I got to be honest. It's the first time I've ever done that. I think it's great for our players and for our team and the whole big picture. And I think that's the most important thing. I think it helps in recruiting. I think those kids have, a position coach and a coordinator and all those things. I think as recruiting, it helps us. I think those kids get a lot of individual attention, and allows me to kind of see a little bit of everything. And, I've coached all the positions, so that's been, good. And it just allows me to get out and look at some guys and see what else we can do. And I think during the season, I'll be much more involved probably than I am in the spring. I've pretty much stayed out of everybody's meeting rooms, let those guys coach, let those DK's coaching the safeties, Matt's coaching the corners, and rather than me being in there, I've stayed away from it and let them do their jobs. And then, in the fall, we'll sort it out and see what's best for our kids, where I can help and who I can help.
Where do you hang out during practice? On the field?
Well, I hope I don't just hang out, to be honest with you. But I'm doing the same thing other than I don't have I don't change anything that I've done other than I don't have, the 20-minute, 15-minute individual period. That's really the only thing that's different. And really it allows me to go down and watch the D-line and see what young guys are improving and watch the older guys and, go over and watch corners and really just get a feel for everybody that's out there and watch kind of who's growing up. And it allows me to see everybody, which I didn't get to see when I was coaching a position. So trying to use it as a positive. But other than that, that's really the only 15 minutes that's changed.
I've not looked at this nationally, but is that a trend?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I know several guys that are doing it that way. Some guys divide up the D line. They coach two guys up there, and then, with our three down front, she does a great job, and obviously with Kalen Humphreys, he's our GA, and he coaches the D line as well. So it's just, again, I think everybody has their own way of doing it. There's a lot of guys that do it like that. We've had some guys come in to visit us that, their coordinators are, guys that don't have a specific position group. But I've kind of taken it, the seniors have really become my position group. I try to spend some time with them and get, kind of get that voice of the locker room a little bit.
What have you seen from that third linebacker spot? Obviously, it's nice to have Mike and Marcel back, and sounds like a lot of younger guys are rotating in right now. What are you seeing maybe from the maturation of that group? And
It's been a lot of fun because those guys are getting better every day. They're young guys. They're hungry. They're eager to learn. Jake has done a great job in there. Marcel, Mike, Gary Vaughn, Will McDonald at Sam, Chandler Pulvermacher at Sam as well. Those young kids, they're just getting better every day. They'll have some lulls in there. They're young kids, so there'll be a period in there like, wow, what are they thinking? And then there'll be 3 periods where they're playing like crazy. So we're excited about them. They're really good young people, and they'll be just fine.
How are things going in cornerback?
Good, young, same thing. There'll be three plays of great plays, and there'll be a young mistake, and man, I didn't get the call, or I thought this was that, and I thought he was doing this or that. And so those guys are growing up, but they have improved every single day. So, with Keontae and Anthony's done a great job. Speedy, Datron Young has been out there. He's been in a blue jersey, but really improving and really has come a long way and is getting much healthier and doing great. Javion Morton and those guys, they're getting better all the time. They're young kids.
I'm sorry. Where do you want to see Mike Rose take the next step? What would prove to you that he has taken that next step?
Oh, I think understanding the whole defense. I tell those guys, defense is always knowing where your help is. I think last year Mike probably took care of Mike. He was playing the Mike position and learned what he needed to do, and now I think he's, to see him grow and say, hey, you know what, you guys should be lined up over there, and we should have the front this direction or that direction, and knowing what everybody else around him's doing. I think that shows you that a guy's maturing at that spot, because you'll be better. The more you know about what everybody else is doing, really, the better you become.
as a sophomore, are you okay with him doing that? Is he okay
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that?
Yeah, and he
I mean,
needs to learn to do it.
pulling
Yeah.
seniors around and telling you're supposed to.
Well,
be
I
over
just
there,
think it's positions. I don't think they ever look at,
Yeah.
who's down there, like,
Yeah.
yelling at Ray or anything. But if he needs
Yeah.
to be shaded to the right, he got to get shaded to the right, and, the communication process. And I think that's a sign of growing up a little bit.
What's it like going through a spring session with as veteran a group as you could probably have? I mean, you're really experienced with the whole defense.
The same as it is when they're not experienced and not veteran. It's still, you're still starting from day one, treat it the same. Start from ground zero and build up, and just hope that everybody and work that everybody keeps continuing to get better. I don't ever look at it like, hey, we got a bunch of guys back so we can do different things. We started at ground zero. We're doing fundamental things, and that's where we're spending all our time. So I don't look at it like, hey, we got all these guys back. We're coaching them just the same as we would if it was brand new. I mean, we really are, and we always do, in fairness.
What about in terms of just the way they come prepared out of the winter for spring? It seems probably year after year, as they have guys leading them the year before. Guys are probably
Sure. I think you definitely see that. I think our guys have learned from, the Joe Lannings and on all sides of the ball, and Allen and that whole group. I just think J.D. Wagner and Spencer Benton last year, and I just think our guys, have had great, voices in their meeting room to follow. And I think when you have that, it takes some stuff off your plate as a coach. There's actual visual pictures of who they should be like and who they should prepare like and lift like and study film like. And man, that guy's a guy I want to be like. And when you have that, and we've had it, it certainly helps.
What do you need to get, or what do you look for at that star position? It seems like when you guys moved DeAndre there from corner last year, you excelled, and now you got to try to replace him. The star safety.
The field safety, or
Yeah.
Greg plays the star. The field safety is where DeAndre went in and played some. Really, those guys are kind of to the field or cover guys, but we're mirroring them up. Braxton's playing one side, L's playing the other. Richard Bones is playing both. Amici Walker, we've moved in there a little bit, and so we're getting some good looks in there with all of those guys. Greg, we've moved Arnold Azuna into star. He's kind of backing up Greg. We've moved JT to linebacker. He's playing Sam for us, and all those guys have improved and done a good job.
Seems like Detrone and Anthony, they don't lack for self-confidence. Do you almost need to, do you obviously like that, but also do you need to rein it in a little bit?
Well, I just think as long as I think to play that position, you better have some confidence, and you better have a relatively short memory. At the same point in time, and I'm this way of any position, there's nobody above the unit. Celebrate with your team, all of those things. I'll never change that way. So if any reeling in of that is just based on that. But I love guys that believe in themselves and got confidence. And if you're playing corner or in the secondary, you better have some confidence, or it'll be a long day.